The trial of Jesus. When the morning came, all the chief priests and elders of the people planned together against Jesus, to put him to death. And they had him bound and led away to the hall of judgment and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor. So Pilate came out and said to them, "What charge do you bring against this man?" They answered and said to him, "If he were not a wrongdoer, we would not have delivered him to you." Then Pilate said, "Take him, and judge him according to your law." But the people said, "It is not lawful for us to put any man to death." Pilate went back into the judgment hall and called Jesus to him, and said, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus said, "Are you asking this for yourself, or did others say this about me?" Pilate said, "Your own nation and chief priests have delivered you to me. What have you done?" Jesus answered, "My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, my servants would have fought against my being delivered to the people. No, my kingdom is elsewhere." And Pontius Pilate said to him, "Are you a king then?" Jesus answered, "You say I am a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause I came into the world, that I should testify to the truth. Everyone who is in the sight of the truth listens to my voice." And Pilate said to him, "What is truth?" And Pilate went out again to the people and said, "I find no fault in him. But you have a custom that I should release to you one prisoner at the Passover. Do you wish, therefore, that I release to you Jesus?" The chief priests and elders persuaded the people that they should ask for a notable prisoner, Barabbas, and put Jesus to death. So they all cried out, saying, "Not this man, but Barabbas." Barabbas was a robber and a murderer. As Pilate was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent him a message, "Have nothing to do with this man, for he is just. For I have suffered many things this day in a dream concerning him." So Pilate asked them again, "Which of these two shall I release to you, Barabbas or Jesus, which you call the Christ?" And again they said, "Barabbas." So Pilate said, "What shall I do with this Jesus that you call Christ?" And they said, "Let him be crucified." And the governor said, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they cried out all the more, saying, "Let him be crucified." So Pilate, seeing that they could not be satisfied, and that they made uproar, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, "I am innocent of the blood of this just person." Then all the people answered and said, Let this be on us, and on our children." And the voice of them and the chief priests prevailed, and Pilate gave the sentence that it should be as they had required. They released Barabbas and delivered Jesus to be crucified. And the soldiers of the government took Jesus into the common hall and brought with them a band of soldiers. They stripped him and put on a scarlet robe. They made a crown of thorns and placed it upon his head. They bowed before him, mocking him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews!" They spat upon him and struck him with their hands. And after they mocked him, they took the robe off him, and they led him away to be crucified. They took Jesus and led him away to a place called the place of the skull. In the Hebrew, it is called Golgotha. And they led him and laid hold of Simon the Cyrene, coming from the country, and they laid the cross across his back and made him carry it behind Jesus. And they followed him to a great group of people, and the woman began wailing and lamenting. But Jesus turned to them and said, "Daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. For the day of coming is at hand. Fall on us and onto the hills." They were the only two other criminals led with him to be put to death. And when they had come to the place which was called the skull or Golgotha, they crucified him there, and the two criminals, one on his right hand and the other on his left. Then Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do."